Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another video. There is a massive blizzard going on right now. I hope you're all staying safe if you're in the path of the blizzard. There is currently 15 inches of snow on the ground here in New York. I'm currently in my apartment for the day, and I thought, what better day to go back to the basics than on this snow day? Today we're going to talk about how to properly assemble your clarinet and how to pack it up properly. This is very important for beginners, but advanced players should watch this video too as a reminder of good instrument care. Before we start, let's quickly go over each of the parts of the clarinet. This is the mouthpiece. This is where you will blow to let the sound travel down the rest of the instrument. It's usually made out of rubber. This thin piece of cane right here is called the reed. This vibrates against the mouthpiece to produce the sound for the instrument. This here is a ligature. This is what holds the reed in place on the mouthpiece and allows it to vibrate to create the sound. This part right here is called the barrel. This is where the mouthpiece goes on in the instrument. This can be used to adjust tuning and pitch on the instrument. This part right here is called the upper joint of the instrument. This is where your left fingers go, and it's the top part of the main body of the instrument. This part right here is called the lower joint of the instrument. It's essentially the lower part of the main body, and it's where your right fingers go. This part right here is called the bell. This is the end of the instrument, but it's not always necessarily where the sound comes out. The sound usually comes out of the tone holes of the instrument, and the bell is often where the lowest notes come out when you have all the fingers pressed down. Alright, let's assemble the clarinet. So the first thing we're going to do is get the reed moistened. And how I recommend doing that is taking a warm pill bottle of water and putting the reed in to soak like that, and just leave it for a little over a minute. You can use your mouth as well, but the reason I personally don't is because the reed is made out of bamboo, and the saliva from your mouth contains enzymes that can break down the reed much faster. I use water so that my reeds will last much longer over time. Alright, now let's assemble the rest of the clarinet. Always start with your case open on the ground. Do not try to open it on your lap, as the contents are more likely to spill out onto the ground, and this can cause parts of your instrument to bend, break. We want to avoid all that. First thing you're going to do is grab the bell of the instrument and hold it in your left hand like this. Next, grab the lower joint of the instrument and hold it in your right hand. I would recommend holding the lower joint at this part where your fingers are on the tone holes, because this is a good spot to grip while we gently twist the two joints together. Make sure that you aren't pushing the joints together, because that can cause the cork to rip. Next, hold the clarinet in your left hand like this and grab the upper joint of the instrument. Hold it in your right hand like this and push down on these tone holes right here so that the bridge key comes up, and then gently hold like that and twist it together. Then make sure the bridge key is lined up right here. Then the next thing we're going to do is put the barrel on, but I noticed this cork looks a little dry, so I'm going to put some cork grease on. Always take just a dab on your finger, then gently spread it across the cork. And we want to make sure that this gets absorbed. Otherwise, when you're twisting the joint together, it can push the grease down to the bottom, and that destroys the purpose of putting it on in the first place. Now from here, grab the barrel in your right hand, hold the instrument like this with your left hand, and gently twist the barrel on. With the upper joint especially, it's important not to push, because pushing can cause mechanical stress on the instrument, leading to cracks on wooden clarinets. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is get the mouthpiece on. So hold the instrument like this, grab the mouthpiece with your right hand, then gently twist it on. Alright, next thing we're going to do is grab the reed. And you can use your mouth to get the excess moisture out if you're using warm water. Then grab the ligature and make sure it's nearby. Set the reed first, make sure it's in a good position. Then put the ligature on, and then you can adjust the reed so that it's in the right spot. Make sure you don't tighten the ligature all the way, because that will squeeze the reed and not allow it to vibrate correctly. Here's what it should look like at the top. A good way to check if your instrument is lined up properly is usually by the logos of the instrument. These are specifically put in these spots by the makers because these are where the instrument produces the best sound when assembled at these certain points. So here, I notice that these two logos are lined up right here. Then I'm going to go up, check these logos, and then always check your bridge key alignment right here at the side. And if that's right on top and centered, then you're good to go. Alright, now you're ready to practice. Now let's go over how to properly put your instrument away. First thing you're going to do is gently turn the ligature and take it off, and you're going to put it in your case. Next thing you're going to do is take the reed, and there are a few ways you can clean the moisture off the reed. The way I would recommend it is using your pant leg. So I would recommend just gently doing that. Make sure your pants are clean. Then you can put the reed away. Then next we're going to take the mouthpiece off and put it away. Next, grab your swab and gently hold your clarinet like this and run the swab down the bell. Make sure that it is fanned out properly so that it's spread across while you pull it through gently. And gently pull. Now the whole reason the mouthpiece is not part of this process is because the swab can wear away the rubber on the mouthpiece over time. Next, what I like to do is break the clarinet into two. And we're going to put this upper part in the case. Next, take your bell off gently. And what I'm going to do is use the swab to gently clean up the inside of the bell to make sure there's no water in there. This is especially important for wooden clarinets. Next, we're going to clean the lower joint. First, gently wipe off the outside, and then clean the inside right here. Then we're going to run the swab through one more time. Like so. And now we're going to put this away. Grab this part of the instrument now. Hold right here with your left hand, and gently twist the barrel off. Put the barrel in your case. And then from here, we're going to gently wipe the top off and the bottom off. And before we run the swab through, this is important if you're playing on a wooden instrument. This top joint is where the water is most likely to get into the keys. The way to get the water out is by covering up the instrument using the palm of your hand and pressing down on these keys, and then just slowly blowing and pushing each key, which will help get water out. So, for example, then what I like to do is take the swab and make sure that there isn't any water left in the keys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this side key up, and if there is water, I'm going to keep it up, put my swab in gently, and let it absorb the water. Then I'll check the other keys. Doesn't seem to be water in any of the other keys, so we're good with this, and we're going to put this away. Next, grab your barrel, clean the inside, and run the swab through one more time. And there you go. Alright guys, I hope that was helpful. As always, if there is anything you would like me to cover in a video, please drop a comment. Thank you and see you next time.